He was relentless on the basketball court, NBA Hall of Famer Charles Barkley. And what he said the night of the Alabama Senate race is having a major impact on politics. Huge African-American turnout helped Democrats do the impossible, win in Alabama. But Barkley is saying Democrats can no longer take the African-American vote for granted. Dwayne Lindo is here to explain.
Well, Alan, as vocal and as controversial Charles Barkley can be, many Democrats are agreeing with him, saying the political reality is that Democrats depend on the black vote, but give the community very little in return.
NBA basketball legend Charles Barkley bringing a message to the masses after Democrat Doug Jones' stunning win in the Alabama Senate race.
They've always had our votes, and they have abused our votes. And this is a wake-up call.
It's a sentiment many local Democrats have been saying for years.
Democratic Party just automatically assume that black and minorities are going to, and the poor are going to vote Democrat. And I think that's a mistake.
I think that the Democratic Party works under an old paradigm of how, assuming that if you're a black or minority or poor voter, you're automatically going to align yourself with the Democratic Party. That's a dated assumption.
Ardell Otten is an activist in the Newtown community. She points to the party not understanding how African Americans view politics in general.
That when you give people information constantly and continuously, they can think. They then understand that the Democratic Party values or not reflect their personal interests. They don't communicate how the elected officials are making decisions in Congress, in the state houses that affect the lives of everyday people.
She says the black community often gets offended when a candidate only shows up right before an election.
They're offended because you haven't given them any information from which to make those decisions on how to vote.
The president of the Manatee branch of the NAACP agrees, saying there needs to be an effort of outreach.
It seems like everybody comes in the neighborhood during election time and then noticeably absent any other time.
He stresses that it's not just minorities and the poor being ignored, but younger people have opted out in engaging in the political process, feeling left out.
They're disenchanted with the entire government, and so they just choose not to engage. They're like, what difference does it make? You know, whether you got Republican or Democratic rule, you know, our conditions are pretty much the same.
And the same applies locally as well, according to Vice President of the Sarasota Democratic Club, Dolores McFarland.
They will be the largest voting segment in the next few years that will outmatch the baby boomers, of which I am a part of that generation.
She says there's a history of the party not having a good relationship with the community of baby boomers that is trickling down to the new generation.
I am personally committed to fixing that, as well as the other leadership of the Democratic Party here in Sarasota. It's being on the ground, it's being committed, it's getting involved in community activities, it's showing up for their events, for their parties, for their celebrations.
The bottom line for those involved in the party, a grassroots effort in getting minorities involved.
But we need more African Americans in Sarasota County to get involved in local politics. And so that's what my passion is right now.
I often advocate that the community needs to focus on the city commissioners, the county commissioners, because those are the people who are right here in their communities who do the same thing. They come and ask for your vote.
And for Jones, it doesn't matter which party steps up. He says he's gearing up for what's important.
We're born and raised Democrats, but we vote on issues. We vote on what's important for my community, what's important for my neighbors, my church, my family. That's what we vote on, and I don't care who brings it to the table. It can be a Democrat, Republican, Independent. I could care less.
Alan, getting back to Alabama's Senate race, some point the Doug Jones win as a step forward for minority voting and Democrats, but feel the allegations against Moore help push Democrats to get that win.
Dwayne, thank you.